Hi guys, Darth Deuces here with a different sort of review. I'm doing a Transformers review. I don't review too many Transformers. I only buy Transformers on occasion, even though I love Transformers. Transformers is actually like the very first kind of fandom I actually got into. I was introduced to Transformers before I was introduced to Star Wars back in my young end days. But at any rate, past the history lesson, I got this really cool figure, and I don't review all my Transformers. Like, I've gotten some of the studio series and haven't bothered to review them, but I definitely want to review this one. It is the Power of the Prime's Nemesis Prime Leader Class figure. I was super stoked when this was announced. I really like Nemesis Prime. I mean, I really like Optimus Prime, so an evil version of him I think is super awesome. And I don't have a version of Nemesis Prime. I never got a version of Nemesis Prime. I've been really looking to get a pretty cool version of him, and I think this Power of the Primes version is really cool. It's basically a repaint and slight retool of the Power of the Prime's Optimus Prime, which I don't have, but I've seen and looks really cool, and I've heard it's a really good figure. So anyways, here's in the box. This figure is an Amazon exclusive as of right now. I know you can get it on Big Bad Toy Store, but they want more money for it. So your best bet is Amazon, and the last time I checked, he was still in stock as of today. He was still in stock when I recorded this video, but I probably won't upload this till after, a decent time after. But he's available on Amazon, and if he's not, keep your eye out because they'll probably restock him. You got the standard box for Power of the Primes. You got the Generations logo, Transformers, Hasbro, Power of the Primes, Leader Class, Evolution's Nemesis Prime, and the figure clearly displayed. And I will say, right when I took this guy out of the box, I was super impressed how this guy looks, so I can't wait to crack him open. Choose your Prime, Power of the Primes. You got different symbols. I think they're for the different primes. I'm not super familiar. I think this is the first Power of the Primes figure I picked up. And you've got his robot mode, his little mode, Nemesis packs, some of the features and whatnot, vehicle mode. And you just got a really brief bio. It says, if Optimus Prime is the universe's shining beacon, his evil clone Nemesis Prime is its doomsday black hole. He possesses the same strength and intelligence as the Autobot leader, but is vile and without remorse and driven to eliminate all in his path. So really cool. But anyways, oh yeah, here's an image of Nemesis packs, which is really good artwork. I love the artwork on here. Same thing with the artwork of Nemesis Prime on the front. Love that artwork. Anyways, I've gushed on it enough about the packaging, so I'm going to get this guy cracked open, and we'll take a closer look at the figure. First in vehicle mode. Alright, so first off, I have Nemesis Prime in his vehicle mode. And the vehicle mode is pretty cool. It's interesting how the main body is the trailer, and then Nemesis Pax, the little guy, is the cab. The transformation's not hard, but it still has a nice complexity to it, and it's very interesting and fun to do. So that is a really good quality for a Transformer, obviously. Before we get into it too much, I usually like to cover accessories last, but honestly, for a Transformer, when accessories usually interact with the figure in some way, it'd be easier to actually do the accessories separately. So I'm going to give you a look at those accessories right now. So Nemesis Prime here comes with a decent amount of extra stuff and accessories. He comes with more accessories than the original Optimus Prime did, which is one thing that differentiates this figure, which I think is really cool. It helps to separate Optimus and Nemesis while they still look similar but have different qualities. And I think his accessories help to emphasize the personality of Nemesis Prime. I guess first of which, the two accessories have stayed the same. First off, you do get the Optimus Prime, Nemesis Prime rifle. This is the exact same gun that the Optimus Prime came with, I'm pretty sure. It's just molded in a black plastic, but it looks pretty good. I really do like the sculpt. It has two handles, and the main reason for that is you can split it in two. You can have two different guns, smaller guns, mainly for Nemesis packs. But that's really cool. I like that. So that is the first accessory. The other accessory that he shares with Optimus is he comes with the Matrix of Leadership. This is obviously like a dark Matrix, I guess. It's a metallic purple paint with the red crystal in there. It looks really good, and you got the black grip. This is really cool. It's really awesome. They actually included the Matrix with these Power of the Primes Leader Class Prime figures. I think that's awesome. I love the paint on this. It is a little ugly in the back, I will say, but still looks pretty cool. You can remove this part because it's supposed to be like kind of like a Prime Master, I guess. It has the little thing on the bottom, so it could attach to a bot's head, I guess. But yeah, pretty cool. It can be stored into Nemesis Prime, which I will show later. Unfortunately, he can't hold it because he doesn't have articulated fingers. You can't get him holding it in any way, but still really cool they include this. Now on to the extra accessories. First off, you get these two big dual cannons here, just molded in this gray silver plastic. Looks really good. The sculpting detail is really great. Love the look of these. They're not as hollow as I thought they're going to be, so that's pretty cool as well. And these can attach to the figure in different ways. I think this is really awesome they included these. It can help change the look of the figure, so that's really cool. Comes with the dark saber, I suppose, or the sword at any rate, which looks awesome. You got a really cool sculpted hilt. It's got a peg there for storage. And you've got this reddish blade. I guess it's more of a dark red blade. The sculpting detail is really cool. It's a nice size. Looks really, really cool. I kind of wish the blade was translucent, but it still looks really good. And then lastly, he comes with Giza, which is a throwback to something previously from a previous Nemesis Prime, I think, but I'm not too familiar. So, but yeah, Giza's pretty cool. It's a little bird, I guess. It's got a little bit of paint error at the red. With the most regular red painted eyes, look good. And then the rest is just this silver gray. But he's got a pretty large wingspan. No, I guess not really any articulation. You kind of move the wings down, I guess, but that's more for transformation, because this guy transforms. It's really easy to do. You just flip that up, rotate these up. They both rotate together, which is really cool. Flip them up, peg them together, and you've got another sword for Nemesis Prime. So that's awesome. So that's all the accessories. Now let's get on to the vehicle mode. Alright, now for the vehicle mode. The vehicle mode is really cool. It's a pretty well executed vehicle mode. You do have the cab and the trailer. Like I said, the trailer is the main body and the cab is Nemesis packs. You know, they go together. They just have plastic wheels. I might not have done the best job transforming them, I don't know. His back wheels move fine. His front wheels aren't really moving because they're kind of raised in relief. But yeah, you know, you can drive him around and stuff. It's cool. Like I said, he's attached to the back of Nemesis packs via peg. The peg isn't tight at all. It just comes right off, so you can't it'll just come off. But that's okay if you just want to have them like that. I guess actually first off, the trailer can store a number of accessories. As you can see, one of the accessories is his rifle, which can be stored inside here via pegging in. It's actually part of the transformation, and I'd recommend doing it as part of the transformation, because if you don't have the gun here, there's a fairly big gap in the trailer. In terms of those accessories, you can take the sword and Giza. Giza has a little tab here, which you can actually tab into the sword like that. And he's got a couple holes on the top, so you can just plug the sword in and do it like that. And obviously it looks a little out of place, but it's not bad weapon storage. He's also got a few pegs on him for the prime, or not headmasters, I guess. You also have the cannons here, which you can do a few different ways. You can peg them on the back here if you want to. Which I'm not doing a very good job of, but it's doable. But what you can do as well is you can actually unplug these, flip these panels out. Obviously you'll have a bit of hollow space, you can flip the panels out. And you can plug those cannons onto the side of the truck. So that is really cool. That is actually good weapon storage, because that actually looks cool, having those big cannons on there. And essentially you store all the weapons onto the trailer. There's no real spot for the Matrix to go to, unless you put it into his chest in robot mode, which I'll show later. So now I'm just going to detach these and give you a quick look at both. So here's the cab. The cab looks pretty good. The black paint is used all throughout. It looks great. And one of the benefits, which you'll see more in robot mode, but in vehicle mode as well, is that the original figure, the Optimus figure, obviously his trailer was gray, but his cab is red. So in robot mode, and more or less in the trailer mode, he had a lot of red bits. Or in trailer mode, there's red bits showing, and in robot mode, there's a lot of gray bits as opposed to red. But because this figure is mostly black, you get a lot better streamlined look, so I really do like that. And the cab looks pretty good for the most part. The transformation is pretty interesting for this. He's got these red translucent windshields look really good. Silver paint looks great. I love the teal color that's used throughout the figure. It really contrasts well with the red and the black and the silvers. He's got painted red on the windows on the sides there. Silver paint. And the back's kind of a mess, but it's not too bad. You do have the wheels. There's obviously some kibble, but it's not too bad. Nice little cab mode. Then on the trailer, I got all the junk on there right now, but as you can see, it goes very G1 style with the stickers here for the decals. The stickers on this side are a little wonky. You do get the Decepticon logo, and you get the light blue and the silver. Reflective silver looks pretty cool. Front, back, bottom is kind of hollow, but there's not really. It's not too kibbly. Back looks pretty clean. Top's pretty clean, like I said. Like on the Optimus, these would be like red, so that looks a lot cleaner, and the stickers look good. And here's the other side. The stickers on here are a lot straighter. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the vehicle modes. I'm going to now transform the cab into Nemesis packs and take a closer look at the smaller figure. Alright, and now I have Nemesis packs in his robot mode. And this is a really cool little figure. It's, again, a repaint of the Orion packs from the Optimus, but he has, obviously, like I said, repaint, and he has a different head sculpt. So let's take a look at that real quick. It looks really cool. I know some people aren't very happy with the naming of this character, which I had to agree to a certain extent. Nemesis packs seems a little lazy. I don't know why they didn't just call him Scourge or something to throw back to previous incarnations of this character, but it is what it is. But it looks really good. Like I said, that red, silver, black, and teal blue color looks really good. I absolutely love how that looks. The sculpt this guy is pretty good. Like I said, the head sculpt looks really cool. He's got a Decepticon sticker on his shoulder there. It looks pretty good. His back is a little kibble heavy, but it's not a huge deal. The arms there, you get the legs. Some sticker detail again. Overall, pretty good looking. One issue I do have is my Nemesis pack does have somewhat of loose joints. Like his hip here likes to, during transformation, likes to pop off a lot. The hand on this side is really tight. There's a couple minor sort of articulation issues, but nothing too big. In terms of articulation, he does have, I think it's a ball joint in the head, but you're pretty much only going to get a swivel. I mean, I guess you can look up, that looks kind of stupid. So you're pretty much just getting a rotation. It's pretty tight. The ball joint at the shoulder, you can go up a decent amount and you can rotate. A swivel at the bicep. Double hinges at the elbows, so a lot of range of motion there. No wrist articulation unless you count pointing, going up and down, but that's more for transformation. No waist swivel, but he does have hip hinges, so you can go out quite far. And his front, oh no, sorry, the whole thing just goes forward, so he can kick all the way forward, which is good. He has a swivel at the thigh. Hinge at the knee, which goes just to about, I don't know, it goes perfectly 90 degrees. And I guess a hinge at the ankle, but that's more of a transformation. So he's got good articulation. You can get this guy in some decent posing. In terms of, well, not accessories, but rather the accessory you can pose them with. You can pose them with pretty much everything from here. The cannon's not really so much, but if you wanted to, I guess you can sort of manage to get him to hold them, but that looks a little weird. You can get him to hold the gun, the rifle, and I have it split into the two parts so you can see what that looks like. So the accessories are actually pretty finicky to get in his hands. He holds them really tightly, but you can get them in there, and you get the two little guns, so that looks pretty cool. Those definitely fit the size of this character more so. Take him out here. You can hold the other accessories, though I will admit him holding the big sword doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. The small sword kind of works fine. You can get him holding that. I think that looks pretty good. And then he can also hold the bigger one if you'd like. I'm not going to force it all the way, but it looks pretty big on him, but you can get him to hold it, so that's pretty cool. I suppose some unofficial articulation too. You can, if you untab, or not even untab, if you move out the panels in the four, you can get them arms moving forward a bit more, but it's not official articulation. It's not official articulation. So that's pretty much it for Nemesis packs. One thing I'll do real quick, I suppose, is I'll do some size comparisons. Because this figure is actually bigger than I thought it was going to be. Here's a Titan's Return Deluxe Class Trigger Happy, which I think is about your average scale for a Titan or a Deluxe Class figure these days. And he's pretty significantly taller than Trigger Happy, which is interesting. Then here he is with Titan's Return Voyager Blitzwing. And he is just a little bit, just a bit shorter than Voyager, so he's in the middle ground between Voyager and Deluxe. So I think that's interesting, but pretty cool nonetheless. And Nemesis packs himself is a pretty solid little figure. And I guess not even that little, but it's a pretty solid figure. But we're here for the full Nemesis Prime, so we'll get him transformed into that. Alright, so now I have the Nemesis packs transformed into his mode to go into the armor. As you can see, there's like this hollow gap here. So all you have to do, take him and just slide him right in. He'll lock into place. And to get him out, there's a lever on the bottom of his ass here. So you can pull that down and he'll pop right back out. But here is Nemesis Prime in his robot mode. Now let's see if I can just get this standing up a bit higher here. There we go. And this figure is really cool. He looks really awesome and he is really functional. It's a really fun figure, really good looking figure. Super happy with how this looks. Pretty much all the way around. Really well built. Let's see, move this forward. So, I guess first off, take a look at the head sculpt. This is the one different part from the original Optimus figure. Aside from different paint apps, obviously, this figure has a different head sculpt. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about them using a different head sculpt, but I actually do really like it, especially seeing it more in person. I think it looks a lot better in person. It looks really cool. It looks a lot more aggressive. I love the red eyes, and the silver paint looks really good. Really happy with that. The red, translucent red there looks really good, and I love the mechanical detail on the chest there. Got this Decepticon stickers, and these exhaust pipes look good. The teal colors on the hips there and on the arms look great. Got the fake grill there, looks really good. Like I said, like these panels on the original figure would have been gray on a red, but because he's all black, I find this figure is just a lot more streamlined and looks a lot better because of it. So that's really cool. You got his hands here. Just has some nice sculpted detail. There is a bit of marbleization in the plastic on the thighs, which I'm not a huge fan of on this particular figure, but it doesn't look too bad. Silver paint on the vents here on his legs look good. Some stickers. The way that it transforms, his legs are hollow, but the panels go around, so it closes off that space really nicely. He's got his feet here, got some little stickers on there as well. Just an overall really, really good looking figure. I can't really sing enough praises for this guy. He looks awesome. I'm super stoked about this one. Paint apps are all really tight for the most part, no real errors. Just really good looking. In terms of articulation, he's pretty well articulated. You got a bulge in the head, doesn't really look up a whole lot, looks down a bit, pivots a little bit and rotates. All the joints are nice and tight. Does have hinges on the shoulders, and the panels here move up, so if you want to, you can move them really far up, which is really good. He also rotates the biceps, single hinge at the elbow, it moves a bit past 90, which looks really good. Unfortunately, no wrist swivel. They could have easily implemented wrist swivel on this figure, so I don't know why they didn't. That's a little unfortunate, but it's not a huge deal. No waist swivel. Again, it would have been a bit harder to implement a waist swivel on this figure because of the whole evolution gimmick. He's got really good, move the arms out, really good spread, like pretty much full splits. A soft ratchet joint, which moves back a decent amount, moves forward a lot, which is good. swivel at that thigh there, so that moves pretty good. A single hinge at the knee, which moves just past 90 degrees. I guess his, more or less for the transformation, his foot can move out, but his foot moves up and down, and it has a pretty damn good pivot. So you can get a lot of great poses out of this figure. So that's really awesome. Now features with his accessories and whatnot, let's go into that. Like I said, you can store the Matrix of Leadership, or not leadership, but I guess darkness, whatever, in him. To do that, you just open up these panels. It's kind of sketchy, but you can do that. And you can open up these ones inside here, and it can go right in there, in the chest cavity there, so. Trying to see, I haven't actually done this before, so it's a bit finicky because there's not a whole lot of space. You might actually want to take them out to get it in there properly. This is what I might end up doing here, because I can't really see what I'm doing. Took a little bit of finagling, but you can't get it in there. It'll stick in there and it's not going to fall out. It'll tab in there nicely. So that's really cool that this is a feature on this figure. I absolutely love that. That's really cool. And you can just close these panels and then close these ones up. And there you go. You've got him storing the Matrix of Leadership, or Darkness, or whatever you want to call it. I don't really know what the evil one would be called. And then for his other accessories, you have his gun here. He can hold his rifle with no problem. So that's pretty cool. What you can also do is, because of how the back transforms, his hands from Nemesis packs are still visible. So if you want, you can store the gun on his back like so. And I think that is some pretty good weapon storage, so you can do that. And you can do it up or down, doesn't matter, whatever your preference is. He's got his wrist cannons here. Yeah, I don't know if there's anywhere else. They're meant to be put on the arms, so there's a hole there, and you plug it in. Like so. And I think that looks really cool. Again, I like these accessories because aside from having nostalgia towards Armada, I think these just help to make him look just a bit more different from the Optimus figure, make him feel like a bit more a different figure, and those look pretty cool. I like them. I suppose if there's one thing to be nitpicky about, they're a little bulky, but they look good. I like bulky robots anyways. They're not as fun looking when they're not bulky. And then obviously you do have the swords as well, so you can hold both the swords. And if you display him like this, you can actually have him with all of his stuff on his person. You don't have to have any loose pieces off him. You can hold all of his stuff, and the swords and everything looks super cool on this figure. It looks absolutely awesome. I love how this looks. Get a better, closer look. It's a really impressive looking figure. Really, I'd say pretty top quality for being a more retail and kid-oriented toy, for sure. Now, I guess for some size comparisons, come off the side there, we'll do a few of those. First off, again, Titans Return, Deluxe Class, Trigger Happy. He's obviously like double the size of Trigger Happy, so I think that scales pretty good. Here he is with Titans Return, Voyager Class, Blitzwing, again significantly taller, not as, obviously he's closer than Trigger Happy was, but I think again that's a pretty good scale. Then with a Titans Return Leader Class figure, a somewhat more recent one. Here he is next to Six Shot, and him and Six Shot are about the same height. It's a little hard to tell from camera, but they're about the same height from their heads. So I think that looks good. It works really well. And then for fun and more or less because I want to see personally, here he is next to the Masterpiece Optimus Prime MP10 mold. Try to get these angled in such a way. It's a It's a little hard to see on camera. But, yeah, it's pretty good, honestly. The scale's not bad at all. MP10 is just slightly taller. But I guess if you wanted to, you can make this work if you have MP10 or whatever. I think this figure is actually cooler than the Nemesis Prime MP10, just because of more accessories and whatnot. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. Whoops. So move him out of the way. And that's pretty much it. I got to go over a lot of stuff with this figure. This is going to be a long review, so I apologize. But I do hope you enjoyed. This is a really awesome figure. I'd say it's definitely a contender for my top 10 at the end of the year for the best figures of the year that I picked up. Though, we'll have to see, I guess, but it's a really awesome one. If you're a Transformers collector, I wouldn't pass up on this. Like I said, it's an Amazon exclusive. It might be a little tough to get, but if it's not in stock now, it should be coming back in stock soon. And he's a bit pricey, but I think he's totally worth it. You're getting a figure reused on a really good body, but also retooling so it doesn't feel like a complete carbon copy. Great paint apps, great extra accessories. Just a really fun figure, a really awesome looking figure. 100% recommend this figure. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you all in the next video.